Out of the Box continues
on Q1043.
All right, and welcome back. And a very nice surprise to have on the phone singer-songwriter Alexa Ray Joel. Welcome.
Thank you.
And let me tell everybody up front, you have a show coming up at the Bowery Ballroom here in the city, I guess this coming Saturday night, July 14th, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's going to be at 11 o'clock I'll be playing, but I'm also going to be playing with my good friends Derek and Lucy. Derek will be on at 9, and Lucy Woodward will be on at 10. So come for them, too.
Well, you know, I'm definitely aging myself, but I do remember when you were born, it was very big news at the time.
Many people do.
Yeah, so 21 years old now, and I guess my first question is, when did you realize that, you know, making music was going to be more than just like a hobby for you? I mean, you're pretty much doing what your dad does as a profession now.
Right. You know, it really wasn't until 2 years ago that I started, you know, really getting up on stage and performing. You know, the idea was always sort of like something in the back of my head when I was younger, but I was always too shy to, you know, pursue it. But, you know, once you actually get up on stage, you're sort of forced out of your shell and, you know, forced out of your shyness, and now I'm kind of addicted to it.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that rush of, like, say, writing a song and performing, no matter who you are, and people applauding for something that you created, you know, that's definitely kind of fun, I would think, for anybody.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a high like no other for me.
Well, you know, and I've spoken to people like, you know, James Taylor's son, Ben, and you know, and others like that, and I guess it's sort of a similar thing, you know, you're just sort of, you know, hanging around that environment, and maybe you will choose that path, maybe you won't.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for me, I grew up in such a, you know, creative, artistic environment. You know, my mom was always painting and encouraging me to, you know, play dress up and, you know, sing around the house, and she would videotape me, and my dad would be playing the piano, and we'd have sing-alongs. So, you know, that was kind of, you know, that was very natural for me. Music and performing and all of that, the arts were always so present growing up that, you know, for me, like, basic things don't come as naturally as a lot of that stuff. So it's funny. Yeah,
well, my dad actually had like a barbershop quartet group, believe it or not, and
that's great. I've always wanted to be in a barbershop quartet, but I can't.
Well, some of those singers are so great, you know, and they, you know, they used to rehearse in our den back in the day. I'd come down in my pajamas as a kid and watch them. And I think one guy had a banjo, which I thought was really cool. So I picked up the guitar, and with you, I read your dad used to sing lullabies for you as a kid. So did you naturally gravitate to the piano as an instrument first, or was there a guitar for a minute? Or
no, there wasn't a guitar, to be honest. But even the piano isn't as natural to me as it is for my dad. I'm more, you know, it's funny because my dad always says, "Oh, I'm not confident as a singer. Singing isn't really that, you know, it doesn't feel as natural to him as playing." But for me, it's the opposite. Singing is really my first love, and the piano is more like a tool for me. Sometimes I write on the piano, sometimes I don't, as opposed to my dad who always writes on the piano.
So you'd say your voice is like your main instrument, maybe, then?
Yes, definitely.
Well, you did take classical piano, I know that, for, you know, several years, and even,
I did.
Yeah, and you went to this workshop at Berkeley too. But like all great rock stars, you drop out of NYU after freshman year to pursue rock and roll dreams, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, NYU had, I was at the musical theater program there, and, you know, they have a great program at NYU, but I guess I just grew restless, and I didn't really feel that I fit in with the theater crowd, and you know, I found myself sort of retreating to the piano practice rooms to, you know, write songs, and that really sort of was like my savior.
I always loved those piano practice rooms in college, you know. It's just like your own little vibe and studio, you know.
Yeah, I would just spend hours in there and zone out, and, you know, it just became apparent that, okay, I need to pursue this. I need to at least give this a shot. And, you know, once I got over my fear of performing, I pretty much got over the fear once I went up on stage. You know, it's scary to think about, but once you're actually up there and you get in the zone, it's great. It's very freeing.
How about any other, like, particular artist besides your dad, obviously, that really, say, influenced you and pushed you in this singer-songwriter, you know, piano-playing sort of direction?
Everyone from Ray Charles to Dolly Parton to Billie Holiday. I mean, I definitely have a lot of very old school influences, but
yeah, I was expecting like Tori Amos, Fiona Apple, and things like that. But
not as much, to be honest. I mean, I think that especially right now, my music's almost going in a blues /rock /funk direction. Last year, I had some songs that were one of the songs on my EP was more like Fiona Apple-y, or I'm really all over the place, and I think that's what's great about when you're young. You can just kind of, experiment, and you don't have to put yourself. I feel like a lot of young artists today think that they have to put themselves in one particular genre, and you don't.
Right.
You should experiment and, have fun,
Well,
so.
Speaking of your dad, I was watching this Brian Wilson tribute the other night, and he performed a Beach Boys song, "Don't Worry, Baby." He dedicated it to you.
That song. Yeah.
And he said that you really love the Beach Boys too.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? They have the catchiest, best songs. I absolutely love that song. Yeah. I
know you have an EP out now called Sketches, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now,
yeah.
is there a new one coming out as well, or?
I would love to get to have a chance to go into the studio, and I keep saying, okay, this month I'm going into the studio, but we keep getting all these really cool gig offers that I can't seem to turn down. So, literally, I haven't had a chance, but I'm really hoping in the next couple of months, especially more towards the fall, to get into the studio. And we're actually in the midst of doing some new recordings that are going to be kind of like demos, but who knows? They might end up being on the full-length album. But, being an independent artist, you kind of have the freedom to sort of, pace take your own path and pace yourself. So it's really cool. Well,
I have this song of yours I want to play called "For All My Days." As you were saying earlier, it is kind of a bluesy sort of somewhat direction. Talk about the inspiration for this song.
I don't know the name of the song that I was thinking of when I wrote it. It was this early 60s kind of ballad. I think maybe Burt Bacharach wrote it or sang it. And it just had this really cool, 60s orchestration and, very of that period. And so I was thinking of, I think it's called Ruler of My Heart. Mm-hmm. Ruler of My Heart. I don't know. But anyway, so I was thinking of that song when I wrote For All My Days, and I really wanted the song to be sort of, or to at least sound like a sort of a timeless classic.
Right. Well, I'll remind everyone again, Alexa Ray Joel, your show coming up here in the city, the Bowery Ballroom, this coming Saturday night, July 14th. How's Mom? How's Dad? How's everyone doing this summer?
They're doing great. They're all out in the Hamptons with me right now.
Oh, man, that's the life, I'm telling you.
It's great.
Our best to them from everyone here at Q1043. And for more info on Alexa Ray Joel, go to Q1043.com. Keywords Out of the Box. Alexa, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for calling in tonight.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you Saturday night at the Bowery Ballroom. Alexa Ray Joel, Out of the Box on Q1043.